Tensions between the United States and China have reached a boiling point once again. In the last week of August 2024, a dangerously close encounter between a Chinese fighter jet and a U.S. Navy reconnaissance aircraft over the South China Sea has reignited fears of a potential conflict. But what exactly happened during this incident, and why does it matter? Let's dive deep into the escalating tensions in this volatile region, the strategic importance of the South China Sea, and the powerful naval forces that the U.S. has positioned there. In late August 2024, a U.S. Navy RC-135 reconnaissance aircraft was conducting a routine surveillance mission over the South China Sea. These missions are crucial for gathering intelligence on Chinese military activities, particularly on the artificial islands that China has militarized over the years. But this mission took a dangerous turn when a Chinese fighter jet, a J-11, closed in at an alarmingly close distance, less than 400 feet. The Chinese jet performed an aggressive maneuver, cutting directly in front of the U.S. aircraft and forcing it to fly through the turbulent wake. This wasn't just a risky stunt. It was a clear message from Beijing, underscoring the razor-thin line between peace and conflict in this region. Such encounters aren't rare, but they are becoming more frequent and more dangerous. Each one adds fuel to the already smoldering tensions between these two global superpowers. Why is the South China Sea such a hot spot? To understand that, we need to look at the strategic and economic significance of this vast body of water. The South China Sea spans over 1.4 million square miles and serves as a critical maritime highway. 1/3 of the world's shipping, valued at over $3 trillion annually, passes through these waters. It's also rich in resources, with vast reserves of oil and natural gas lying beneath its seabed. China claims nearly 90% of the South China Sea, basing its assertion on historical maps and the controversial 9-dash line. This claim is contested by several of its neighbors, including the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia, and has been rejected by international courts. Yet, Beijing has pressed ahead, building and militarizing artificial islands, turning them into unsinkable aircraft carriers equipped with airstrips, radar systems, and missile defenses. For the United States and its allies, the South China Sea is seen as international waters, open to all nations for freedom of navigation. The U.S. has no territorial claims here, but it views China's actions as a direct challenge to international law and the rules-based order that has maintained global stability since World War II. The United States has responded to China's assertiveness by maintaining a robust military presence in the Indo-Pacific, particularly in the South China Sea. The U.S. Navy regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations, or FONOPs, sailing warships through waters claimed by China to challenge Beijing's excessive claims. Currently, the U.S. Navy has several key assets in the region. The USS Ronald Reagan. This Nimitz-class aircraft carrier is the flagship of the U.S. 7th Fleet. Based in Yokosuka, Japan, it's one of the most powerful symbols of American military might in the Pacific. Equipped with a full complement of FA-18 Super Hornets, electronic warfare aircraft, and advanced radar systems, the USS Ronald Reagan is a floating fortress capable of projecting power across the region. Guided missile destroyers, ships like the USS Decatur and the USS McCampbell regularly patrol the South China Sea. These Arleigh Burke-class destroyers are equipped with the Aegis combat system, capable of tracking and intercepting enemy missiles, making them a key part of the U.S. Navy's defense against potential threats. Submarines, the U.S. Navy's submarine force, often referred to as the Silent Service, plays a crucial role in the region. Though their movements are shrouded in secrecy, it's known that attack submarines equipped with torpedoes and cruise missiles regularly operate in the waters of the South China Sea, providing an unseen but formidable deterrent. These assets are supported by a network of bases and alliances across the region, from Japan and South Korea to Australia and the Philippines. Together, they form a powerful bulwark against any attempts to dominate this strategically vital region. But with all this military hardware in close proximity, the risks of miscalculation are immense. The August 2024 incident is just the latest in a long line of dangerous encounters. In fact, between 2016 and 2023, there were over 180 reported incidents of unsafe or unprofessional maneuvers by Chinese aircraft and vessels near U.S. military assets in the Indo-Pacific. Each of these incidents could have escalated into a full-blown conflict, with catastrophic consequences not just for the region, but for the entire world. So, what happens when a U.S. Navy patrol aircraft is intercepted by a Chinese fighter jet? First, the U.S. crew attempts to establish communication with the intercepting aircraft using international emergency frequencies. The goal is to de-escalate the situation, making it clear that the U.S. aircraft is operating legally in international airspace. But if communication fails and the Chinese jet continues its aggressive behavior, the U.S. aircraft may have to take evasive action. All the while, the U.S. Navy's command and control centers are monitoring the situation closely, ready to respond if the encounter escalates. Fighter jets from nearby bases or aircraft carriers can be scrambled to provide support, and additional naval assets can be brought in to deter further aggression. The implications of these encounters go far beyond the immediate risks to the pilots involved. They are part of a broader struggle for influence and control in the Indo-Pacific, a region that is fast becoming the epicenter of global power politics. For the United States, maintaining a strong presence in the South China Sea is about more than just challenging China's territorial claims. It's about upholding the international order that has underpinned global peace and prosperity for decades. It's also about reassuring U.S. allies and partners in the region that America remains committed to their security. For China, these intercepts and military maneuvers are a way of asserting its rising power. Beijing wants to show that it will not be intimidated by U.S. military presence and that it's willing to defend what it sees as its rightful territory. But with each new incident, the risk of a miscalculation increases. A single mistake could lead to a military confrontation with far-reaching consequences. As both nations continue to modernize their military forces and expand their capabilities, the stakes have never been higher. The South China Sea is more than just a contested body of water. It's the front line in a global struggle for power. The recent incident in August 2024 is a stark reminder of the delicate balance that must be maintained to prevent these tensions from boiling over into open conflict. How will the United States and China navigate this dangerous path? And what does the future hold for this critical region? As the world watches closely, one thing is clear: the decisions made in the South China Sea will shape the course of international relations for years to come. If you found this deep dive into US-China tensions insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Should the US take a stronger stance, or is there still room for diplomacy? Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.